this morning, sun's a bit hazy, checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low, gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stuck in the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're opening gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's do it to it, guys. Let's get this show on the road. Let's do it right now. My name's Ron Tyler. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina, guys. We're on the air right now for you, 7 days a week if necessary. We've done it before. We'll possibly even do it again in the very near future. But we're here for you whenever something happens. We're here for you on the air when it happens. As soon as the information becomes available, we'll be on the air for you. We've done it before. Again, we're going to do it again. Now, guys, we've lost some subscribers to our program. YouTube keeps unsubscribing people from our program. So please, guys, please check and make sure you're still subscribed to our program. It's very important. It's absolutely an emergency, guys. We've lost about 20 subscribers in the past week. That doesn't normally happen. We never lose that many subscribers at all. Maybe one or two occasionally, but we don't lose that many subscribers. So please check and make sure you're subscribed to our program. And when you do that, there's also one other thing you need to do. Right next to the subscription button, there's a tiny bell icon. A tiny bell icon. Click on that. When you click on that little bell icon, a drop-down menu of 3 items is going to come up. When that happens, click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on the air. That's very important as well. We come on the air between 4 and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, and on weekends or at night, we can come on the air at any point in time. That's why it's important to get notified when we come on the air. So please do that, guys. Very, very important. Also, something you need to do, okay? I'm going to put up our PayPal address and our local address and our email address here so you can know what you do to there. Let me explain that, okay? You see our PayPal addresses scrolling across the bottom of your screen here. Our PayPal address is so you can go give donations to our program here to keep us on the air. Costs keep rising, okay? I have to maintain our bills here specifically to get broadband network so I can broadcast this program. Unfortunately, it takes a broadband network. Okay, I have to have at least 1 gig of memory or broadband network to be able to broadcast. That's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, it's very sporadic, possibly even put us off the air. So please help us keep that broadband in place, help support this program. Okay, our Venmo location doesn't work, and I'm going to take it down pretty soon if that doesn't get straightened out immediately. Okay, also you see our email address going across the bottom of your screen beneath the PayPal locations. You can send us an email if you want to give us comments, questions, or ideas for our program. We'd appreciate that as well. Okay, so please utilize that. Also, when it comes to comments for this program, beneath this program, the video here that you see on the air right now, beneath that, after this program is over, YouTube puts up comment areas so you can comment positive comments toward this program. We'd appreciate that, okay? YouTube uses several analytical factors to analyze whether they're going to let anybody watch this program besides us. We want to grow this program, okay? This is not about me. This is about emergency status, emergency information, okay? Now, they use several things for analytical factors. Number one, the amount of people that watch this program. 2, the number of people that are watching this program the longest time. Lately, we've had anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes watch time, sometimes even less. That's unacceptable. So please stay here for as long as you possibly can to watch this program. Otherwise, YouTube won't pass it on to anybody else on YouTube, okay? Third, they look at likes, thumbs up on this program. Look at thumbs up. If you like what you hear on this program, please give us a thumbs up, letting everybody know at YouTube and everywhere else that this program is liked, this program is wanted on the air, okay? That's absolutely necessary. Number 1, subscribe. Number 2, hit that little bell icon. Number 3, the number of people watching our program. Number 4, the length of time you watch our program. Number 5, the number of likes or thumbs up that you give us. That's very important. So please, guys, if you like our program, please give us a thumbs up. That's absolutely necessary. Okay? Now, let's get into the heart of this program. Okay? Today, President Trump issued a statement about the Iran-Iraq war, Iran-US-Israel war. Okay? This past Sunday, yesterday morning, at his direction, the United States military sent dozens of aircraft armed with the most sophisticated and lethal weapons in the world to retrieve a man that had to be ejected from his aircraft on Friday. Okay? One of the pilots was ejected. The other pilot was the radar navigation officer who also had to eject from his plane. They were shot down by enemy aircraft. Enemy missiles. Okay? The radar navigation officer was not found originally. The main pilot, the front pilot of the aircraft, the F-15A aircraft, was found, but the navigation radar officer was not. Now, I want to tell you what happened, okay? If you haven't already heard. The radar navigation officer was slightly injured, okay? After the front pilot ejected, the plane continued on for a short time. Then the radar navigation officer ejected also. Now, in that point in time, that plane without the original pilot that ejected traveled several miles probably. Then the radar navigation officer ejected also. So that put many miles between the original pilot and the radar officer. Now, during the 2 days after that, that officer ejected and also hiked and climbed up to 7,000 feet high up in the mountains of Iran. Climbed up to a 7,000-foot elevation. Now, our planes and our satellites were trying to find him, and he had a navigational beacon with him. Now, on Saturday, that beacon was found on a mountain. Okay, images of his body were seen on satellites moving. Then on Saturday afternoon, something very unusual happened. That radar navigation officer sent out a message saying, God is good. God is good. Okay? Saturday night into Sunday, the U.S. and Israel sent up many planes in the air trying to find him. Also, planes armed with some of the most lethal weapons in the world. Yes, they destroyed the aircraft that went down, completely demolished them, so Iran could not get anything from those planes that the U.S. didn't want them to see. But they went out with other planes and ended up destroying other enemy people on the ground. They destroyed Iranian soldiers from the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps. Okay, they took them out, destroyed them. Also, something else happened. Our own CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, had operatives on the ground in Iran. The operatives on the ground from the CIA Intelligence Agency kept the Iranians in limbo. They kept giving them false information so they couldn't find the pilot that ejected. On Sunday morning, at about 2 a.m. in the morning, Sunday, a friendly aircraft found him on a 7,000-foot high elevation, meaning he climbed from the desert area of Iran up 7,000 feet high. This man was in fairly decent shape, even though he was injured. Okay, that's miraculous. Very miraculous he even got found. And then he was recovered. They sent in a lot of planes and helicopters to get him. Okay, some planes had to take care of the enemy trying to get to the pilot, which took him, our aircraft took him out. But then our aircraft landed on the ground on that mountainside in Iran and plucked him up and returned him to Kuwait, where he's being treated in a military hospital in Kuwait. So our teams, military and otherwise, got our pilot out of there. Miraculous thing. Very miraculous thing to happen. Okay? Yes, God is good. On Easter morning, our pilot was recovered. That was unreal. Rebecca Griffiths from New Mexico, thanks for being here. God bless you, little lady. Love you. Linda Covington's here. Thank you for being here. She said she finally got us on her smartphone. That's great. Kenzo's here. Jazzu's here. Thank you for being here. Okay, but this is all good. Now, something else that's happening in Iran as we speak. Okay, Iran is being asked to stand down. Okay, Pakistan and the United States are going to bat in a ceasefire right now until tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Okay, President Trump has given Iran time to surrender and release the Strait of Hormuz to normal flowing of ships through the strait. If Iran refuses, President Trump said he will release hell on Iran. He said he will release hell on Iran. President Trump made a statement earlier this afternoon that he's willing to release hell all over Iran. He's also got many comments from the citizens of Iran to go ahead and release hell on Iran, completely destroying the present leadership of Iran. Okay? He's been asked by the citizens, the residents of Iran, to completely destroy Iran if necessary, so that people that live there now will live in some kind of freedom. Okay? So that's President Trump has put that out on the air that he's going to probably end up doing that. He's given Iran until tomorrow evening, Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, to release the Strait of Hormuz and surrender to the United States and Israel, and not release any more drones, not release any more missiles, and a complete ceasefire. Okay, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that happens. I'm very hopeful that Iran surrenders. I don't want to see any ill will come to anybody, not Iranian citizens or anyone. I'm hopeful that Iran will surrender and the war will be over. President Trump stressed that if he and Israel had not went in last October to destroy the nuclear power of Iran, so Iran could never ever launch a nuclear missile or any other nuclear warhead at any other country. Then they had to go in again because Iran was putting up drones with capabilities of taking out other countries and had missile capabilities of upwards of 4,000 miles away, which would have put all nations in the European Union at stake. President Trump said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go in and eliminate that possibility. Iran is not supposed to release even one more drone or one more missile, period. They're supposed to release the Strait of Hormuz as well. So I'm hoping by tomorrow night that's exactly what happens. Okay? One other thing here, before we get into talking about earthquakes. Fuego volcano in Guatemala is going up right now. It's erupting. This is a picture of Fuego volcano from Sunday night. Look at that. Lava spewing out of the volcano, and you can see the volcano erupting right there. Up to 32,000 feet high. 32,000 foot eruption at Fuego Mountain. Fuego means fire in Spanish. Okay? There's another mountain that's been going off occasionally here, off and on occasionally, is Sandaguito Mountain. Sandaguito Mountain in Guatemala. Both those volcanoes are off and on, but Fuego volcano is going on right now. Okay? Unreal. I've seen the video of it. Okay? Now, let's talk about earthquakes. The first thing I want to do is go over to use the USGS map. This map right here. I'm going to take down a webcam for the time being, and I'm going to take down our EMA banner here. I'm going to go down here into the South Pacific. First thing we're going to have is the South Pacific here. Why? Why do you think we want to use the South Pacific earthquake scene? Okay? Because we have a very large earthquake here, possibly even a 6.0 very strong earthquake. 5.0, 5.9 indicate large earthquakes. 5.6 to 5.9 are considered to be very large earthquakes. This is a 5.9 earthquake on the Pacific Antarctic Ridge here, the Southern Pacific Antarctic Ridge here. Let's zoom in here. I want to show you this. See this Antarctic Ridge here? South of New Zealand, south of Australia, all the way down here. It goes south of South America down here into the South Sandwich Islands, where we have another earthquake here, which is a 4.9, 5.0, the South Sandwich Islands. Wow. Do we expect to have that? Yes. Yes, we did. Okay. Now, right now, we have no other earthquakes in the South Atlantic. But this earthquake here in the South Sandwich Islands, it's going to migrate through the South Sandwich Islands up here to the Arctic Ridge, and then it's going to move into the South Atlantic. It's going to move up the South Atlantic to the South Atlantic Ridge here. Then we're going to see large earthquakes here in the South Atlantic, moving up here in the mid-North Atlantic, and then further north into the North Mid-Atlantic here. Okay, that's very important as well. As I've explained before, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is expanding. Mid-Atlantic Ridge here is expanding. Okay, in that expansion, This is very important. In this expansion, the mid-Atlantic ridge is expanding. The plate is expanding. It's pushing Europe in a easterly direction, while at the same time it's pushing South America, Central America, Mexico, the United States, Canada, and Greenland in a southwesterly direction. Okay, that's why we have earthquakes here in South America. That's why we have earthquakes in Puerto Rico. That's one of the reasons we have earthquakes in the Puerto Rico, U.S. and British Virgin Islands region, and in Mexico as well. Okay, that's why we have earthquakes here in the eastern side of the United States. USGS doesn't want to show them to us. They don't want to show them to us. Tomorrow, we're going to be discussing the mid-Atlantic area here. We're going to be discussing earthquakes on the eastern seaboard and also on the Neumatic Fault. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about earthquakes all over the world again. We're going to be talking about earthquakes in Canada and the United States. And then on Thursday, we're going to spend a great deal of time talking about Cascadia, talking about the Cascadia subduction zone and the volcanoes all around the Pacific Northwest, going all the way down into California. Today, our major focus is going to be on earthquakes resulting from the San Andreas Fault. But on the beginning of this, we're going to be talking also about San Francisco. Why? Because the San Andreas Fault starts way up here in the North Pacific off the coast of Northern California, right up here, the Triple Junction. The Triple Junction here you see of 3 earthquake faults. The Cascadia Earthquake Fault Zone, the Cascadia Subduction Zone here, runs from the Triple Junction here all the way north into British Columbia, Canada, all the way north up here to Haida Gwaii. This is Haida Gwaii right here. The Cascadia Subduction Zone reaches from Haida Gwaii all the way down into Northern California. Runs along the coast of British Columbia, Canada, Washington, Oregon, and into Northern California. At the same time, the earthquake fault that runs away from the coast of California out into the Pacific Ocean is called the Gorda Escarpment. The other earthquake fault making the Triple Junction is the San Andreas Fault here. The San Andreas Fault starts here at the Triple Junction and runs all the way through California here. Starts here, running along the coast of Northern California, then north of San Francisco Bay, enters California here. Then approaches San Francisco Bay here, on the western side of San Francisco Bay, where we've had numerous earthquakes here at Pacifica during the last 3 weeks. USGS not showing us any earthquakes, but I'm sure they're there. Okay? Then, the San Andreas Fault continues over here east of Monterey Bay here. This earthquake east of Monterey Bay here is on the San Andreas Fault. This near Gilroy, California. This is a 1.2 tremor here near Gilroy, California. Gilroy, California has had an earthquake here almost every day for the past 3 weeks. Here. Okay? Over in Monterey Bay here, you see an earthquake here. I have not in the past 7 years, we've been broadcasting this program now. Excuse me. April 3rd on Saturday, actually Friday, April 3rd, was the anniversary of our 7th year being on the air here on YouTube. Never before in the 7 years I've been broadcasting have we ever seen an earthquake in Monterey Bay this close to land. Yes, we've seen an earthquake out here on this earthquake fault just outside Monterey Bay here, but never this close to land. This is northwest of Marina, California. 1.0 tremor here in Monterey Bay, northwest of Marina, California here. Marina, California is a small community here along the coastline. Marina, California here. Okay. Then again, inland here, again on the San Andreas Fault. This is the 1.0 tremor here, again on the San Andreas Fault. 1.0 tremor. This earthquake did not cause any damage. Tremors and minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9, cannot be felt. 9 chances out of 10 is nobody's going to feel these earthquakes. Sometimes somebody very sensitive might feel a 2.8, 2.9, but that's all. Felt earthquakes are usually 3.0, 3.9 or larger. Okay, that's what's happening here in the San Francisco Bay Area. In a few minutes, we're going to talk about the rest of California, going down south here. However, I want to point out some earthquakes here. This one is also on the San Andreas Fault here. This earthquake, very important, very important. This earthquake is in Parkfield, California. Parkfield, California is the earthquake capital of the world, and earthquake capital of California. More earthquakes happen here in Parkfield, California than anywhere else in the world. This is a 1.3 tremor here. Also east of Parkfield here, near Coalinga, California. This is a 1.6 tremor here. By near Coalinga, California, they say this is 2 miles east of Coalinga. Let's zoom in here. I want to show you this. Okay. Yes, this is Coalinga, California here. Coalinga is a very small town here in California. This is 7 miles east of Coalinga, California. Okay, mostly farming community out here. But this is also just a 1.6 tremor. Nobody felt this earthquake either. Okay, let's continue down, going south here along the Oceana Fault here. Oceana Fault. Cambria, California. A 2.2 earthquake here. 2.2 earthquake here. We continue south here. This time right here, west of the San Andreas. This is a 1.0 tremor here near Maricopa, California. This area near Maricopa is getting hit with earthquakes for the past week and a half. 1.0 tremor here, not felt at all. We continue further south here. South and west of the San Andreas here. This is a microquake near Ojai, California. 14 miles northwest of Ojai, California. Okay. Further north here on the San Andreas. At Fraser Park, California. Okay. This is right next to the Garlock Fault. The Garlock Fault also meets the San Andreas down here, near Fraser Park, California, where we have this 1.6 tremor here. We take the Garlock Fault up here to the north. We go up to Ridgecrest, California here. Good old Ridgecrest, California. Today here we have a 0.7 microquake. Ridgecrest, California. Why do we know Ridgecrest? For those of you that have been watching my program for the past 7 years, back in 2019, July 3rd and July 4th, 2019. First off, on July 3rd, we had a 6.9 earthquake. Actually, 2 6.9 earthquakes. USGS took one of those down and left the other one up. Took it down. They said it never happened. However, I, for a fact, still have access to that information. There were 2 separate earthquakes, not just one. 2 separate 6.9 earthquakes that hit here in Ridgecrest, July 3rd, 2019. Then on July 4th, a 7.1 earthquake hit here in Ridgecrest. Major 7.1 earthquake hit in Ridgecrest. At that same time period, this entire area around Ridgecrest going north, and I'll explain this how far north it went in just a few minutes. But all the way down here into North San Diego County, we had hundreds of thousands of earthquakes here. Literally hundreds of thousands of earthquakes. At one point in time, about 3 weeks before that earthquake hit in Ridgecrest, we had hundreds of earthquakes. Before it was all said and done, by the time the 7.1 earthquake hit Ridgecrest, all of a sudden we had hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands, from tremors on up to minor tremors, minor earthquakes, up to small 3.2 to 3.9, moderate earthquakes 4.0, 4.9, 5.0, 5.9, 6.0, 6.9, up to 7.1 here in Ridgecrest. Okay? Notice all these earthquakes here. Let's do a little investigation while we're here. Let's take a look and see what happens here. Okay? Just to north here. This is north of Ridgecrest. 12 miles north of Ridgecrest, we have a 0.9 microquake. Just north here, Little Lake, California. 1.1 tremor here. Normal. Completely normal. Right here. This is 4 miles west of Little Lake, California. This is a 0.4 microquake. Out here to the east. Out here to the east. This is a 0.6 microquake here. This is 14 miles north of Cyril's Valley. 14 miles north of Cyril's Valley. Now, up here, further north here, we come to an area, you see Sequoia National Park here. South of Sequoia National Park, there's a small town called Olancha, California. 65 miles north of Ridgecrest. Okay? That Ridgecrest earthquake caused other earthquakes, small, large, and minor tremors, happen all the way up here to Olancha, California. From San Diego, California in the south, all the way up here to Olancha to the north. Hundreds of thousands of quakes happen here. We had hundreds of tremors and minor earthquakes, actually hundreds of aftershocks from that 7.1 earthquake, literally hundreds. Hundreds, guys, hundreds. This area was completely covered with earthquakes for about 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Then the aftershocks simmered down for a while. They simmered down for a while. But that's what happens when you have a major earthquake. We're still seeing aftershocks now, as you see here. Those are aftershocks here in the Ridgecrest area. Okay? However, further down here south here, okay? Mojave Desert here, Mojave, California. This is a 1.4 tremor here. It's on an earthquake fault here in the desert. That's what happens. Right here, Boron, California. What are they doing here, guys? Can anybody tell me what they're doing here in Boron, California? They're mining borax here. They're mining borax for borax soap here in the California desert here. That's what's happening here. Okay? They have quarries all over this area mining borax here in the deserts of Mojave Desert. Okay? All over here, literally. Okay? We'll go out here further to the southeast here. Here we come out to Ludlow, California. Almost every day since last week, we've had 1.7, 1.8, 1.9, 2.0 earthquake here in Ludlow, California. Today we are seeing a 1.7 tremor here in Ludlow. Okay? Go out here to the southwest here. A brand new earthquake here near Big Bear, California. 1 mile northeast of Big Bear, California. Guess what? Guess what, guys? Most of you may or may not know, Big Bear might be a volcano. I read some time ago, the Big Bear Mountain here might be part of a volcano. Might be part of a volcano here. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. Okay? All kinds of earthquakes. This is a brand new earthquake. Whenever we see a red earthquake spot, it means it just happened. 1.6 tremor here, 1 mile northeast of Big Bear, California. Okay? For the south here. Now again, what are we looking at here? This is a 1.1 tremor on where? The San Andreas Fault here. The San Andreas Fault. As I said, it comes out of Northern California, goes further and further to the east and south, all the way through California. That comes down here on the east side of Los Angeles and also the east side of San Diego. Okay? San Andreas Fault. We're going to be talking a great deal about this in just a minute. I want to show you a few earthquakes the USGS is having here in this LA area. Right here. Redlands. The Redlands. Almost every day for the past year or so, Redlands has had a quake. This is 0.7 microquake, not felt. Up here north there, Loma Linda, California. 2.0 minor earthquake here. Not surprising. They have 2.0s minor tremors and microquakes here all the time in Mira Loma and Loma Linda, California. Mira Loma is just southwest of Loma Linda. This happens to be 2 miles southeast of Loma Linda. Loma Linda Medical Center is right there. Right here. This is a 1.0 tremor just south of Loma Linda Medical Center. Then we come out here to the southwest here. 0.9 microquake. We know for a fact that USGS is downgrading earthquakes to nearest 0.9. It's what I call part of the 0.9 society. They downgrade earthquakes to nearest 0.9. This just happens to be a 0.9 1.0 tremor here. Again, southwest of Loma Linda, California. Now, let's go further out here. This is also important. Very important. Why? Why is this so very important? Earthquakes are happening all throughout this area. Earthquakes are happening all over this area, guys. Everywhere. Literally everywhere. Okay? Now, if USGS and Caltech had not silenced their seismograms from public view, we see a town called Fontana. We see a town called Fontana here. Fontana has tremors, minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9, and 3 to 9 small earthquakes here in Fontana, California. They're hiding them. They don't want anybody to see them. This is Fontana right here. Like I said, they have microquakes, minor tremors 1.0, 1.9, 2.0, 2.9 minor earthquakes, and 3 to 9 small earthquakes here, 3.0, 3.5 here in Fontana. They don't show those. Rarely do they ever show earthquakes here in Fontana, but I promise you, they've been having them for years now. Years. But again, USGS doesn't want to show them here. So they shut off the seismograms showing any kind of activity here in Southern California. They don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. Up here in the north, up in California. I have friends here. All over this area. This is up in Upland. This is a 1.0 tremor. 0.9 microquake, 1.0 tremor here in Upland, California. Further to the southwest here. Further to the southwest. Right near Anaheim. Fancy this. Now, guys, if I was able to show you a seismogram from Anaheim, which they used to let us do, the seismogram would show us not just microquakes like we have here. This happens to be a tremor here. This is a 1.4 tremor here in Anaheim. But we have microquakes. We have tremors just like this. We have 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes. We also have 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here in Anaheim, California. What is also here in Anaheim, guys? Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm. Whenever they have a 3.0 large earthquake here in this region, in Anaheim area, they have to shut down the roller coasters, the rides here, and those two entertainment parks, and shut them down and inspect the rails, the cars on the roller coaster systems. Space Mountain, for example, has to be shut down, as well as all the other rides here in Anaheim at Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm. Yes, they sometimes do have a 3.0 earthquake while they're in operation. They have earthquakes usually at night, 3.0, 3.9 at night, but they've had earthquakes early in the morning and in the middle of the morning also here in Anaheim, California. They're not showing anything, nothing at all. Over here in Long Beach, not showing anything at all here in Long Beach. Both Long Beach and Anaheim have earthquakes all day long, literally. Microquakes, tremors, and minor earthquakes. They also have 3.0 earthquakes here in Long Beach all day long. The seismogram, which is a computer readout from the seismograph, shows seismic activity all day long, top to bottom, side to side on the seismograph. They're not showing a single thing here. That's a travesty here. Not showing anything here. That means they're lying through their teeth. Then we go up here to Los Angeles, guys. Usually they show a seismogram here for Los Angeles, the city itself, at the city county building here in LA. Now, why is this so important? Because over here in Los Angeles, guys, all they usually show are minor tremors here. But occasionally we'll see a minor 2.0, 2.5 earthquake here in Los Angeles City. North of LA, they're not showing all the cities here north of Los Angeles. Moore Park, for example, Pardee, and other communities here have seismographs. Those seismographs also show microquakes 0.1 to 0.9, 1.0, 1.9 tremors, 2.0, 2.9 earthquakes, and yes, occasionally here north of Los Angeles in Moore Park, Pardee, and other locations here north of Los Angeles City, they have earthquakes. From microquakes to minor earthquakes, and small earthquakes 3.0, 3.9. Okay, all the time. But again, they shut those seismograms down. That's what we're talking about this. I'm going to talk about this until I can't stop, literally. Because guys, this area is due a major earthquake. This area is due a major earthquake. Okay? I'm not going to lie to you. This area is due a very major earthquake. That's why we're going to talk about this tonight. It's important. Very important. We're going to talk about the great California earthquakes. California's risk and why preparedness can't wait. Earthquake preparedness cannot wait at all. Okay? Southern California especially is earthquake country. Earthquake country. It always has been, always will be. Scientists can't predict exactly when the next major earthquake will strike. However, they agree on one fundamental principle, one fundamental truth. It's not a question of if, but if, when it can happen, and it will. Not if, but when it can happen. The greatest risk is not the earthquake itself. It's how prepared we are when the shaking begins. It's how prepared we are when the shaking begins. The San Andreas Fault, measuring 800 miles long from Northern California coast all the way down to San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego County, as well as Imperial County, east of San Diego. This fault is currently the world's most watched, closely watched phenomenon. What scientists fear? The big one. The big one, guys. An earthquake so tremendously powerful that could cause death of thousands of people and millions of dollars of damage. And I'm not just talking millions, but billions of dollars of damage. Let's talk about this. Everyone knows this dread quake is going to happen, but the question is when. Concern is growing as seismologists currently study the estimate when it's going to happen. But there's also estimates that there's a 7% chance that the next major rupture of the quake, the earthquake fault, is going to happen before 2032. Before 2032. That's 6 years from now. 6 small years from now. I believe it's probably going to happen sooner than that. I don't give it much more than 2 years. 2 years for the next major earthquake. Yes, it could happen tomorrow. It could happen tonight. It can happen next month or next year, but it's going to happen. Experts describe the fault as locked, loaded, and ready to roll, indicating there is significant stored energy that already exists, and the longer it does not happen, the more significant the risk is going to be and the more dangerous it's going to be for the people living in the area. Millions of people live up and down the San Andreas Fault. Millions. Scientists consider a major earthquake, the big one, on the southern San Andreas Fault inevitable, due to its being over 150 years of accumulated stress. Over 150 years of accumulated stress and growing, making it overdue. The southern section of the fault last ruptured in 1857, far exceeding the typical shorter interval of energy release. Again, usually it has had a shorter interval of energy release, meaning that stress has been building for over 152 years in this case on the San Andreas Fault. There have been other earthquake faults in the Los Angeles area, and we're going to talk about those briefly today also that have happened. Ancillary faults from the San Andreas Fault. Ancillary faults from the San Andreas Fault. Okay? Now, briefly, let's go up here to the north. Up here north. The San Francisco Bay Area. A big deal. A huge deal. What happened here? Can anybody tell me what happened here in 1989? October 17th, 1989? A big deal earthquake. A big deal earthquake, guys. The Loma Prieta quake happened on the Hayward Fault, collapsing the highways of the Oakland Bay Bridge. The upper section of the bridge collapsed on the lower section. The lower section also collapsed into San Francisco Bay. We're going to talk about this. I want everybody to know how serious this is. Okay? Many people remember the 6.9 earthquake that occurred October 17th, San Francisco, California, 1989. Okay? The baseball series was in full force. It was the third game of the World Series. The World Series had to be moved out of San Francisco because of this quake. That earthquake lasted 15 seconds long. 15 seconds worth of shaking. It devastated this area for weeks and months. The 1989 Loma Prieta quake in the San Francisco Bay Area resulted in 63 being killed and 3,757 reported injuries. Highways and bridges buckled, crumbled, and fell. The magnitude 6.9 earthquake caused significant damage, including the collapse of the Nimitz Freeway, leaving over 12,000 people temporarily displaced. 12,000 people lost their homes. The majority of deaths and serious injuries resulted from the collapse of major transportation structures. The collapse of major transportation structures. The Cypress Street Viaduct, the I-880 highway, Oakland, California. This was a single deadly site, accounting for 42 people killed when the upper deck of the double-decker freeway collapsed on the lower deck. The San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, one death occurred when the 50-foot section of the upper deck collapsed. Bluxom Street, San Francisco. A brick wall collapsed and killed 5 people. The Loma Prieta earthquake hit on the Hayward Fault. The experts believe that the death toll might have been much higher, if not for the 1989 World Series. Why? Because the game featured 2 local teams, the San Francisco Giants and the Oakland A's. They were playing in the World Series. Now, this is partly the reason there were not many more deaths. Okay? Why? Because the game featured the local teams. Many commuters had left work earlier or stayed late for viewing parties, significantly reducing the rush hour traffic on the collapsed freeways. They got lucky there. People that had gone to the ball game or were left in the area to view it on televisions of various buildings in the area got lucky, because 2 bridges collapsed and killed a lot of people. Most of the damage from the earthquake occurred at the Pacific Garden Mall, Santa Cruz, California. Building collapses resulted in 3 people being dead there. The Marina District of downtown San Francisco. Soil liquefaction. Where have we heard that before? Liquefaction occurs when the shaking starts. The shaking starts and the ground around the water liquefies because groundwater moves up into the soil that's been shaking. The soil liquefies and becomes like quicksand. Soil liquefaction led to building collapses and fires, causing 4 people to die. Unreal. The San Francisco 1989 World Series happened 34 years ago. Yet San Francisco Bay Area is still shaking today. We've seen the San Ramon area east of San Francisco being shaken, and we've had multiple 4.5, 4.6 earthquakes and more aftershocks of that. And those swarms of earthquakes can also lead to large earthquakes. We're going to learn that swarms of earthquakes lead to large earthquakes. Okay? That happened there. But let's talk more about the San Andreas Fault now. Let's talk more about the San Andreas Fault here. Okay? It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. Okay? We are expecting a magnitude 7.8 to 8.5 earthquake to happen on the San Andreas Fault in Southern California. That San Andreas Fault earthquake is projected to cause over 1,800 people to die, 50,000 people injured. That's projected. And these figures are very conservative figures, meaning that there could likely, those numbers I just quoted you of deaths and injuries is probably going to be significantly higher. And roughly $2 billion in damage. Roughly $2 billion of damage on the San Andreas Fault, okay, in Southern California. Many Angelenos remember what happened in 1994. What happened in 1994, guys? Do you remember? Northridge, California, Los Angeles. Northridge, California, Los Angeles. Earthquake. Earthquake, guys. A big deal, isn't it? I was there after the earthquake. My police partner and I were dispatched from San Diego, California, where federal officers dispatched to help Los Angeles police in Los Angeles. Northridge and Los Angeles police and sheriff's office as well here in LA. This earthquake is going to happen again. Okay? The Northridge earthquake hit in Los Angeles at magnitude 6.7, 6.7. This event struck early in the morning hours in California, Los Angeles, Northridge. It collapsed freeways, damaged tens of thousands of homes, including our buddy Rob 52, who's one of my best friends. He's a moderator on this channel. His home was damaged as well. And that earthquake, 6.7, injured more than 9,000 people and became one of the most costliest natural disasters in U.S. history, the Northridge quake. Now, when the San Andreas Fault ruptures again, it's going to cause widespread catastrophic damage, particularly in areas near the San Andreas Fault, the San Francisco Bay region, Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, and San Diego and Imperial counties in Southern California. Major highways are going to be damaged. Interstate 5 running from all the way from San Francisco all the way down into San Diego County. Interstate 5, the 101, the 710, the 405, the 805. They're all going to be damaged as well as all the other ancillary roadways, highways in Southern California. They're all going to be damaged. Okay? Roadways are going to be damaged and inoperable. Okay? It's going to cause catastrophic damage. Okay? Major highways, rail routes, trains, not just the commuter trains you see running all over the country, but also L trains, light rail trains throughout Los Angeles and San Diego and San Francisco are going to be damaged. Major highways, rail routes, utility lifelines, water and power and gas could be severed, cutting off Southern California for weeks and months. Possibly longer. You think gas prices are high now? Wait till after the next earthquake hits here. Things are going to skyrocket. Food is going to skyrocket. You're not going to be able to get to grocery stores when that happens. If grocery stores are even open, which are probably not going to be, stores and other utilities and other places are going to be catastrophically damaged. We saw that happen when I was up at Northridge. Stores were out of operation. Only select restaurants were in operation if they could get food. Okay? Now, while the big one is inevitable, it's going to happen. And while it may not happen today, it could happen tomorrow or in the very near future. This is unavoidable. It's going to happen. The San Andreas Fault earthquake is overdue, not overhyped. Not overhyped at all. Yes, we talk about the San Andreas Fault going, but it's not overhyped. Maybe we need to talk about it more. The San Andreas Fault is California's most well-known powerful fault system, stretching, like I said, more than 800 miles across the state. It marks a boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Tectonic Plate. The Pacific Plate to the west and the North American Plate to the east. Okay? That fault alone, the San Andreas Fault alone, is capable of a 7.5 to 8.5 magnitude quake. A 7.5 to 8.5 magnitude earthquake. Geological evidence shows the major earthquakes on the southern portion of the San Andreas Fault tend to occur every 130 to every 160 years. The last major rupture occurred in 1857. 1857. That tells you where it's at right now. It's past due. In 2010, we had a major 7.1 earthquake on the border between the United States and Mexico, in the area called Guadalupe, Victoria, Mexico. That earthquake was centered near the border of Mexicali and Calexico to the north. Mexicali on the Mexican side of the border, and Calexico on the California side in the Imperial Valley. Okay? The ground shook as hard as anywhere else in San Diego. I was there. Skyscraper windows from as high as 30 stories high fell to the ground and shattered into millions of pieces. I saw window panes from top of skyscrapers fall out of the windows and come down and hit the ground at the bottom. I saw it. Businesses throughout California, including San Diego and LA, had damage. Damage to natural gas pipelines, natural to petroleum fuel pipelines, and also damage to water supply lines. Now, we all know what happens in Los Angeles and Southern California. They have viaducts coming off the California River, or not California, but the Colorado River. Viaducts. When this earthquake hits, it's going to damage those viaducts as well, which means water supply could be contaminated and or cut off from Southern California. That's not good for Southern California at all. That means citizens in Southern California, all the LA communities, as far north as probably Santa Barbara and south into Mexico, are going to be cut off from water. Cut off from viable water. Okay? Think about that. That 7.1 earthquake that hit at the border of Mexico and the United States in 2010, April 3rd, 2010, by the way, guys. April 3rd, 2010. 16 years ago. Was felt as far east as Arizona, as far west as San Diego, California, as far north as northern Los Angeles. How about that? Now, another even larger earthquake is expected. That means the fault is now more than 150 years past due. The San Andreas fault is more than 150 years past due. It can't be overhyped at this point in time. The San Andreas fault is due for major release of buildup energy. Overdue does not necessarily mean imminent. Overdue does not necessarily mean it's imminent. It could happen today, tomorrow, even next year. But it's going to happen. But it does not mean that the risk is not real. The risk is ongoing and it's getting even riskier. The risk is ongoing and it's going to be getting even riskier ongoing. That's unavoidable. The 7.5 to 8.5 earthquake is going to be unavoidable. In recent years, Californians have experienced earthquake swarms, clusters of small earthquakes occurring over short periods of time, like we've seen Ace talked about in San Ramon, California, west of San Francisco, or east of San Francisco Bay. These events often raise concerns about whether a major earthquake is going to follow. Yes, it is possible. It can happen. It's quite possible these swarms could lead up to large earthquakes. Scientists continue to study those patterns, but there's currently no available activity, no reliable way to predict exactly when or where a major earthquake is going to occur. What swarms do is to provide a powerful reminder. California fault systems are active every day. Every day, guys. We see earthquakes every day. Whether USGS wants to talk about it or not, we see them every day. Before USGS and Caltech cut off reviewing from the seismograms, I showed you earthquakes that happen every day in Southern California, all over. Literally all over from San Diego County over east to the Imperial Valley, where 500 plus earthquakes happen every day. Los Angeles County, Orange County area, where 400 earthquakes happen every day there. But USGS never shows them, do they? That means nearly 1,000 earthquakes happen in Southern California every day. 1,000 earthquakes every day. USGS never shows those. Never happen. The plain and simple truth is that they do happen. And this is just a powerful reminder that everybody needs to be prepared. Preparedness is the key here to surviving these quakes. Preparedness is the key to surviving these earthquakes. Now, while the San Andreas Fault often dominates headlines, it is only one part of a very complex network of active fault systems, many of which run directly beneath heavily populated communities, such as California's most threatening fault lines. Let's talk about this for a minute. The San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault. Now, I'm going to pull down this Northridge picture here and come over here just west of the San Andreas here. See where it says Riverside here? That is a San Jacinto Fault there. This is a San Jacinto Fault here. Runs out of northeast Los Angeles around Fontana area, east of Riverside, south of Riverside, all the way in San Diego County, all the way in northeastern San Diego County. Goes all the way down here to Julian, all the way down here to Julian. And it ends up going out here into the western part of the Imperial Valley, the western part of the Imperial Valley here. Okay? The San Jacinto Fault. The San Jacinto Fault line has potential magnitude of an earthquake to happen as a 7.0, 7.5 earthquake. 7.0, 7.5 earthquake on the San Jacinto. One of the most seismically active faults in California is posing a serious risk to the Inland Empire. Inland Empire, the San Jacinto Fault. Now, let's just go west from the San Jacinto. What do we have here? We have the Elsinore Fault. We have the Elsinore Fault here. Right here. This Elsinore, California. Elsinore Fault. Okay? Let's talk about the Elsinore Fault. Runs all the way up from here, all the way south here into San Diego County. San Diego County. Comes over here to Palomar Mountain. Palomar Mountain right here, northeast of San Diego City, northeast of Escondido, California, where I used to live. This is the Elsinore Fault here, running all the way down here for the south here. Okay? The Elsinore Fault. The Elsinore Fault is a slower moving but dangerous fault system affecting Riverside, Orange County, and North San Diego County. Okay? Then let's go back up here into Los Angeles County, up here in LA. Okay? Let's talk about the Newport Inglewood Fault. The Newport Inglewood Fault here. Okay? The Newport Inglewood Fault Zone is capable of a powerful magnitude of 6.5 to 7.4 earthquake. 6.5 to 7.4 earthquake. The Northridge quake was a 6.7. The Newport Inglewood Fault is capable of a 6.5, 7.4 earthquake. That's powerful. Guess what? Coming off the Newport Inglewood Fault, out here into Los Angeles Harbor, out here in the Pacific Ocean, The Newport Inglewood Fault comes out here in the Pacific Ocean. It connects with what they call the Rose Canyon Fault. The Rose Canyon Fault comes in here to San Diego County, right about here, Encinitas, California. Encinitas, California. Then the Rose Canyon Fault comes down here into San Diego City. Into San Diego City, guys. At this point, goes through San Diego City right here, comes out of San Diego City into San Diego Harbor, comes out of San Diego City into San Diego Harbor, under the Coronado Island here, out into the Pacific Ocean again. The Rose Canyon Fault. The Newport Inglewood and the Rose Canyon Fault are capable of a 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake. The Newport Inglewood and the Rose Canyon Fault are capable of a 6.5 7.5 earthquake. Fact. Fact. The Newport Inglewood Fault runs beneath some of Southern California's most densely populated areas, and it was responsible for the 1933 Long Beach earthquake. Long Beach 1933 earthquake. Now, let's go inland. Let's go back up here in Los Angeles, inland. Okay? In the past, we've talked about the Walnut-La Puente earthquake. Walnut-La Puente volcano. Walnut-La Puente volcano here in Los Angeles, northeast Los Angeles County. Guess what? Because of that volcano, we have what we call the Puente Hills Fault Zone. The Puente Hills Thrust Fault Zone. The Puente Hills Thrust Fault Zone is a potential 7.2, 7.5 earthquake here. 7.2, 7.5 earthquake. This is a buried blind fault system beneath Los Angeles, capable of producing a severe shaking across the entire LA basin. 7.2, 7.5 earthquake, capable of severe shaking across the entire Los Angeles basin. Let's talk about the Hollywood Fault. Let's go over here and talk about the Hollywood Fault now. Good old Hollywood. Go figure. Go figure. Good old Hollywood. Okay? The Hollywood Fault itself has a capability of a 6.0 to 6.5 localized earthquake. 6.0, 6.5 localized earthquake. But it's a serious threat due to its proximity to dense neighborhoods and older structures. Older structures are not capable of withstanding earthquakes, are they? Unreinforced masonry structure is going to fall. Unreinforced masonry structure is going to fall like pancakes. That's what we saw at Northridge in 1994. It's going to happen. Now, north there in the San Gabriel Mountains. San Gabriel Mountains here. Okay? Sierra Madre and San Gabriel Mountains. A potential magnitude 6.5 7.0 earthquake. A potential magnitude of 6.5 to 7.0 earthquake in the Sierra Madre Mountains here. Sierra Madre Fault Zone. This affects foothill communities along the San Gabriel Mountains and poses landslide risk in addition to shaking. Landslide risk, guys. Huge landslide risks. Earthquakes do not need to be massive to be devastating. Faults that run directly beneath urban areas are going to cause major shaking, major damage. Major shaking, major damage in older buildings. This severe shaking is also going to cause a disruption of power, water, and transportation systems, and long-term displacement of residents. Long-term displacement of residents. This is why earthquake preparedness must be local. Earthquake preparedness must be realistic. And earthquake preparedness must be proactive. Proactive preparedness. Okay? Scientists have deployed sophisticated regional and statewide seismic monitoring systems, like a shake alert system. The problem with that is they call it an early warning system, but it can only provide critical seconds, only seconds of notice. Only seconds of notice. Maybe to allow people to drop, cover, and hold on. Drop underneath a stable table or desk and hold on and stay under there. Keep their bodies and their children underneath that desk or table till the shaking stops. Okay? It's only going to provide notice enough to get under a table or a desk until the shaking stops. That's not much notice. That's not that much notice at all. We're asking that residents of Southern California prepare by securing your homes, building emergency kits, and developing family plans, family emergency plans. We keep talking about this and talking about it and talking about it. I mean it. I mean it now more than ever. You need to stay alert, you need to stay informed, and heed the notice and alerts and updates you're given. Stay informed, heeding the notices and the alerts and the updates you're going to be given. Know your risk. The best time to prepare for an earthquake is now. The best time for all of you in Los Angeles and Southern California especially, and even San Francisco, is to prepare now. Prepare now. Earthquakes provide no warning at all. There is no evacuation order for an earthquake when it happens. There's no countdown. There is no opportunity to prepare once the shaking begins. None at all. Preparedness happens before earthquakes hit. Preparedness happens before earthquakes hit, guys. That's why we're here talking about tonight. Okay? I've got notice from USGS. I've got notice from the city of LA. I've got notices from the city of San Diego. Notices from the counties involved. Guys, the earthquake is inbound. Earthquake is going to hit whether you want it to or not. Whether you are ready or not. It's going to hit. It's going to be very damaging. It will be very damaging. And we're asking everybody right now to get prepared. As I said before, earthquake preparedness is not hype. It's not even overhyped. You need to prepare now and you need to prepare immediately. You need to prepare immediately, guys. Do we have any questions for me? I'm somewhat of an earthquake expert. I've been through them. I've lived through them. And I prepared for them. I've also helped people that were there. Do we have any questions from anybody here? Even Hurricane Heather up in Northern California is going to feel earthquakes as well. I'm sure Heather has also felt earthquakes around Mount Shasta, Mount Lassen for years now. They happen. They happen all day long. Any questions, guys? Hurricane Heather says she's so happy, she prayed so hard, and has had so much faith. I am so happy to hear that. That makes me so good, feeling so good. And Hurricane Heather's gotten her kids home again. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I've been talking to Hurricane Heather for years now about her family. I'm so happy she's got them home now. That's great. Does anybody have any questions about earthquakes or anything else we've talked about? I'm happy to take any questions you might have. Linda Covington is saying Earth is getting bombarded by solar flares. You're absolutely right. 4 days ago, we had another X1 class flare. Huge flare from the Earth side facing the sun. Yeah, we got a direct hit. We're getting plasma radiation right now from the solar flare. Now, solar flares continue to hit Earth now. Solar flares continue to hit now. That's why we're having earthquakes still. That's what caused that major earthquake in the southern Pacific Ocean. That's what's causing very strong 6.0 large earthquakes. It's what's causing these large earthquakes around the globe. Solar flares and tectonic plate movement. Solar flares heat up the surface of the Earth. They heat up the tectonic plates and allow the plates more freely move just like this. That's where we're getting earthquakes. They also help the earthquake faults move as well. Whenever these solar flares or planetary alignments hit, that solar radiation or electromagnetic radiation from the planetary alignments, they heat up the surface of the Earth, they heat up all that biological material that's held those plates in place, all that sand, all that grit, all that rock, the biological material, that the foliage and everything is decayed, all that stuff is holding those plates and the faults in place. When the solar flares, that electromagnetic radiation hits, it heats up those areas, and all that biological material turns into oily, greasy-like substance and causes the plates to more freely move, just like that. That's what's going on. You didn't get your daughter back. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you get hers back together. That'll be a great day. That'll be a great day. Heather, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. That's totally awesome. Okay, guys, we're going to cut this program short. I don't want to go over time at all. I wanted to take this program. I'm going to try to pare this program down to not more than 30, 35 minutes total from now on. I'm not going to go 2 hours or anything else unless it's absolutely necessary. But I want to cut this program short now. Guys, I love you. The Lord loves you. We just got through observing Easter. I've had such good feelings about Easter. I've had such good feelings and inspiration from God. I'm going to tell you that. I've had a lot of inspiration from God, directly inspiration to me, personal revelation. I think most of you also have had that. And talking with some of you, I think most of us already had personal revelation from God as well. We've been praying. We've been asking for blessings. We've been asking for answers to questions. God has blessed us. We're truly blessed. We are truly blessed to live where we're at. Even Demon Catman over in England, and other people live in Europe, all over Europe and Scandinavia, I hear from you as well, and I love each and every one of you. God loves you. I ask God to bless you this day and always. God bless each and every one of you. Pray, guys. Get closer to the Lord. Find out who Jesus Christ is. Read your scriptures and pray. I promise you'll get answers. I promise you get answers. I love you. I know the Lord loves you. May God be with you this day and always. May God be with you and bless you forever and ever. We'll see you tomorrow evening. If something else happens between now and tomorrow, when we come on the air, we'll be on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. Until then, have a good night, guys. We'll see you sometime between 4 and 5 o'clock tomorrow evening with another episode of the Emergency Management Associates. Have a good night, guys. God bless. Take care. Be safe. See you soon. Enjoy.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard, So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright. We're always learning, always striving to be better. Bring you the most up-to-date information, no matter the weather. Emergency Management Associates is here for you now and forever, it's true. Keep watching, keep learning, because we truly appreciate all that you do. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.